so I got all jazzed in the energy of the hugging and the chatting and all of that, and I was all engaged with Esperanza, like the thing we had on social media last night. And what Reverend Alex was saying about the social media thing is basically she's saying that I spend a lot of time on Facebook. That's code word for she's always online. So I'm really grateful to be here today. I am very, very excited about the idea of living in a vision. And it has become this thing that I do with my life. And it's amazing to me. So I want to talk about what a vision is, right? And how you get into living this vision. So how do you activate it and have it remain activated in your life? So I'm going to start with the fact that when I was a kid, I always thought they were like super people, you know, like the guy that runs really fast and gets, you know, gold medals at the Olympics, he's a super person. And the woman that swims, or Peekaboo, what's her name, that skied like a rock star skier, you know, like those people are special and they have a purpose and they have a vision. And people like me, we were just supposed to sort of be doing what we do. And I didn't understand that everybody has a vision, because I didn't know what a vision was, right? I didn't know. I thought a vision was like this big super thing that you got to do. You got to be a superstar. You got to get Academy Awards or Grammys or some big certificates and make, you know, like develop something that cures a major illness and changes the whole world, and you get to do all that. And I thought that those were visions. And then everything else was just sort of, we were like supporting cast, you know, for the rest of the world as they were doing their thing. I didn't understand that every single person is born with a vision. So first I had to understand what a vision is. And what is that? You know, when I'm growing up as a little girl on an island where life is just sort of, we're hanging out and we party and we spend a good time at the beach or eating or having drinks or whatever it is, and we go to work and we do what we do. You know, I didn't know that I too had a vision. I didn't know that the little boy next to me in primary school had a vision. That everybody has a vision and a purpose for their lives. There are two types of visions. It's either an active vision or a passive vision, but you have a vision. So, you know, as I was discovering this New Thought thing, which I've been doing for about 21 years now, and I'm kind of like hanging out with these New Thoughty people, which is in total contradiction to my Catholic upbringing, let me just tell you know, in terms of what I understood on a mental level. Because I didn't understand that the presence of God in the Catholic Church was the very same presence of God that we're all talking about over here too. So for me, it was like a mental exercise of differences. And so I was trying to hang out with these people, and they're talking about visioning, right? My teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who started this whole life visioning process, which is the active way of discovering your vision and really kind of stepping into it by taking, it's like a scientific process that you take real steps, you know, step by step into an active vision. So I go to their church in LA and they're talking about visioning. And I'm already thinking they're loopy. And now they're talking about this visioning thing. So I go to this visioning workshop that they have, right? And they have paper and pen and crayons, grown-ups, markers, stickers and stuff. And I'm like, okay, they're really weird. You know, and they're sort of doing this thing, and they're diagramming on the paper, and they're stopping and going within and trying to find out and determine what is God's purpose for them. And I'm thinking, none of this is happening for me, because I'm in the mental space, right? I'm not in the heart space. I'm not in the spirit space. And I'm like thinking about what are they doing, and I'm sort of looking with one eye, sort of as their eyes are all closed, and they're all in the process of going within, and I'm like, what are they doing? That's so weird, you know? And I'm sitting with them and I don't have a vision. Obviously nothing comes from me because I'm having a mental exercise and they're having a spiritual experience, right? And so I come out of this visioning process and I'm thinking, okay, I like the philosophy of these people, I'm going to hang out with them, but the visioning thing is a little weird. And I default back to the idea that maybe there isn't a vision for my life. Maybe I am supporting caste, and that's okay. I can be supporting caste. I can, you know, be the person that sets the chairs up or puts the chairs away. And I can be supportive, and I can be present in this philosophy and really enjoy the energetic of it, because obviously the big vision for my life isn't there. And so then I started understanding that the vision was always there. There was always like this little part of me, even as a child, right, that knew that there was something, when I really got still with myself, there's something more to life than just going to school, getting good grades, graduating, getting a job, paying the bills, paying the taxes, saving some money, going out to pasture, and then leaving the planet. I always knew there was more, right? But that's the truth of how most people live their lives. Now, we're all waking up, and that's why there's so many centers for spiritual living and all kinds of different spiritual communities, because the planet is waking up and we're in a new level of human experience and existence. However, we still, very many of us, still play supporting roles. We go to work, we pay our bills, we save some money. You know, we hope for a retirement place or a place where we're going to, you know, build a house and live, or we're going to move to Florida. That was one of the visions at one point, was you worked, you paid your taxes, then you moved to Florida, which is just another pasture, right? You moved to Florida, you just got sand, as opposed to what another pasture might look like. You go out to pasture, and then when it's time, you leave the planet, and you leave some money for your kids, you know, maybe some property, and you keep moving. And you've really kind of come in the world, shown up, breathed in and out, done a few things, and left. And so I bring you to this point, and I really tap into that, because really that was the end game, right? And then we dressed it all up. We dressed it up with things like he who dies with the most toys win, or, you know, go to college and get a degree and be a lawyer and make a difference in the world, be a doctor, and, you know, those kinds of things. And we dress it up with, you know, the degrees and it's this thing, you know, get certificates and show up in the world in this way. And it's still, when you bottom line it, it's still going to work, paying your bills, except now you're paying like Mongo student loans, right? Along with everything else, you're paying your bills, you're paying your taxes, and you're going out to pasture, and you're leaving the planet. And then, so as I got a little bit more into my own spiritual experience, I started realizing, you know, there's a thing inside of myself that's always been calling me. It's why I am the way that I am in the world. It's why I'm nice to people. It's why I make eye contact. It's why I really want to hear how you're doing. So when I don't use that as a greeting. I never use it as a greeting. It really makes me crazy when people say, hi, how are you? And then keep going, and I want to grab them and say, wait, let me tell you how I am, or don't ask me, right? Hi, how are you is not a greeting. Hi is a greeting. But how are you is like a real interaction with another human being. And it's supposed to be meaningful and have purpose. And that was a part of me understanding that there was something else within me calling me to be more than just a bill payer, a taxpayer, a student loan repayer. You know what I mean? I wanted more. There was something, but it wasn't because I was super special in the way of being more special than any other person, like I thought when I looked at Olympic athletes or actors or, you know, great this person or that great person that's shifting the world. It was something that was calling me because I had a special gift, like you have a special gift. Like we all have a special gift that we're here to deliver on the planet. And the best idea is that we come and we tap into the gift. And then, you know, we start to like build on what the gift looks like, and when we release it on the planet. And so it started first with me that I just wanted to leave my corner of the world better because I was there. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't leave a mess behind. Because I was having a passive vision for my life. I wasn't actively engaged. Right? So there was this passive vision that was bubbling up within me that was saying, yeah, leave the world a better place. Leave a good eco-footprint. Leave a good, don't just, you know, bulldoze through life and leave like that behind you. Make sure that you start to do things like, reuse things. Don't just throw them away. Reuse them. Maybe they repurpose things. Maybe they have a different purpose in your life. Maybe you can, you know, give things to others rather than throw them away. Share more. Give more. And it started bubbling up, right? This is my passive vision for what I wanted my life to be about. And then I started, and before I get into the active vision, I want to tell you that everyone sitting in this room has a passive vision. Because you came into the world with a gift and a vision and a thing to do. You have an assignment. you're not just here to pay bills. You're not just here to save money. You are not just here to end up in pasture and then leave. It's not just that you came to be the father of your children or the mother of your beautiful daughter. It's not just that you came to do that or to be her child. You have come on the planet to do something that is spectacular, that is important, that is unique, that only you can do. Only you can do it. Only you can do it. Only you can do it. I can't play your role. And if you don't tap into your thing, then you leave it undone. You leave, it's unfinished business. And so when you're out in pasture and you're kind of looking back at your life and you're thinking, whoa, I did pretty good. I paid the bills. I, built the thing. I left the house. There's life insurance for the children and all this. Well, there's a thing inside you that is undone because you have come to deliver a specific, unique gift. It is why you are who you are. It's why you're Manny and you're not Tom. It's why you're Brent and you're not Tony, because you have a specific gift to give. And so we go into, this is where now the idea of active visioning comes into place. Like some people just know, and I don't know if it's because they've been here before, they've reincarnated and they're born into this idea that I'm going to be a rock star skier and I'm going to make everybody ooh and ah and have a great, exhilarating experience watching me ski. Some people are born like that. Some people are born with, oh my gosh, she hits a ball like a rock star. I'm going to help her hone that thing, and she's going to be like the best tennis player on the planet. Some people are born with that. And some people come in, and we're sort of like passively going through. I was one of them, passively kind of going through, feeling the call to do a thing, feeling the pull and the desire to do a thing, and not quite knowing what that thing is, right? So then we've got this active visioning process that we do. And Michael Beckwith, he created, along with others, when Agape was founded, they created this idea of visioning. They created the visioning process. And it's now called the life visioning process. And it's specific steps. You sit with yourself, and you ask questions. There are questions that you really kind of sit with yourself. And there are lots of ways to do it. I believe that life visioning can be done by anyone, anywhere, who has a sincere desire to tap into why they're here. And I believe that while my teacher, and I love him, has given us like guided steps to do this, if you never ever get exposed to these guided steps to do this, you can still tap into your vision simply by having a desire to tap into the thing that you were born here to be, the thing that you were born here to do. And for some people, it is that you're here to be not a supporting cast member, but someone who helps others unfold their vision. Someone who helps others in their process, in their journey, in their way, and that your help makes the difference in the whole grand scheme of someone's life. That the moment that you were kind to Daniel, and Daniel in that moment needed kindness, that shifted everything and changed the trajectory of his life. It may be that your purpose is to be the kindness, be the joy, be the love, be the peace, be the harmony, and you have to tap into that and allow it to come out. So if there's a thing that's calling you, and you're passively doing it like I was, I encourage you to kind of sit with the process of like actively asking, what am I here to do? Like, what is the real purpose of my life? Why was I created? Was I really just an accident of science that said, boom, let's go. Oh, look, there's Brent. And am I now just here to breathe in and out and then go out to pasture and leave, some money and some life insurance and some property and some things? Is that what I'm here to do? Or am I here to breathe in and out, use it all up and leave nothing for anyone else, and just kind of an example of how to be A or how to be B? Whatever it is that my thing, right? But you have a thing that's calling you inside. So now, for me, it was about, what is this purpose? Because I had done a lot of things in my life. I had gone to college. I had gotten degrees. I had done all those things. And I was working in a field that made a difference in a lot of people's lives, that shifted families when I showed up, that helped families to sort of restructure and regroup. And I was doing that. And that's a very purposeful life, very much so. And then there was a thing that kept calling me that says, and you're here to teach, not but, and you're here to teach, and you're here to help others find their way out of their own experience and into their new, greater yet to be. That's what you're here to do. So how do you, and I was like, oh, okay, Spirit, that's pretty lofty. I'm here to teach. Not going to teaching school. I've already been to law school, and I've already gotten a master's, and I already have, you know, multiple undergrad degrees. I'm done. And I sat with it because I was willing to sit in the joy and the light and the presence of, what am I here to really do? You know, what is the whole purpose of me in this life thing? What is it? So I sat with it, and I sat in the silence. Before I even knew how to engage in life visioning as a process itself, I started sitting in the silence and just really being still with, what am I here to do? So I had to kind of wade through some things. You know, there were some things in my mind space that always got in the way, some mental equivalents that always got in the way that would say to me, you know, Diane, this airy-fairy stuff, just get on your knees, ask God to help you, you know, and pray and give thanks. That's what you should do. And just keep moving. Get on your knees, ask God to help you, pray and give thanks. That's what the majority of the planet that's engaged with a thing with God is doing. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Why do you want to try to be over here and do this other thing that's so weird? And when you try to do it, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel natural to sit in, or at least it didn't feel natural to sit in meditation. Who does that? Who sits around, in the world that I was from, who sits around for 30 minutes with their eyes closed, palms upright, breathing? Who does that? We do. We do because it brings us into connection. And when we start to do it, it's a little weird. So I'm going to tell you, you know, if you're here and all of this airy-fairy stuff is going on and you're thinking, wow, all of that 30 minutes of meditation, to be still and be in silence and to not activate or engage with my thoughts, what does that mean? I'm not running down my to-do list? This is really weird. If you're here, I want to tell you that you can practice and find that quiet space within yourself where there is that engagement with yourself and the spirit within you, where there is that opportunity to really be in the stillness, really be in it and get steeped in the presence. And you don't really understand until you do it. And you have to do the practicing, and you have to get past the weird feeling. You have to get past the discomfort. You have to get past the newness of it all and sort of engage with it and really allow yourself to experience it. So if you're hearing something and it's sparking something in you, then it's time for you to say yes to something that's being sparked and really give it a shot. You know, it's great to have a set of principles and beliefs, which I did. Great to have a set of principles and beliefs, and if you're not engaged in actively practicing them, you're not nurturing them, they're not growing, they're not taking root, they're not how you live your life. So it's really about, okay, this meditation thing, I'm going to go in there and find out what this vision is about. Let's find out what it is really. First, I have to believe that there is a purpose for my life, that I'm here to do more than just breathe, birth children, or, you know, sire children, and leave a house, and leave some money when I go out to pasture. I have to believe that there's more to life than that. There is the, and you know how we know? Because we have like this moment, right, all the time, where we're doing something, we're engaged in something that gives us great joy, and all of a sudden we feel connected to the world around us in such a vivid and live way. We feel like, whoo, that was so cool, that was so much fun. Look at that. You know, we get the God bumps, the goosebumps, the angel wing things that happens, the fluttering that happens when we start to feel connected to the life around us. So we know there's a purpose. We know there is a reason. We know we're connected to something. And so now I believe, and we believe in this philosophy, that it's our time to do our part. Like Spirit is always doing what Spirit does. It's always giving us oxygen to breathe. It's always continually providing everything that is necessary for us to live. And now it's time for us to get actively engaged in what is our vision. What am I here to do? What is my purpose? And I discovered that the purpose can come at any time in your life. You don't have to find it at 22. You don't have to know it because you're 8 and you want to be a rock star. You don't have to be like my daughter, who at 2 years old said, I'm going to be a marine biologist. I'm like, what do you know about being a marine biologist? Who knows that, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to help the animals in the ocean. like, okay, and you know this house, she's 2. And she's like, it's what I do. I want to help the turtles and the whales. And she's 2. She's now 10. She still wants to be a marine biologist. She's like rooted to the earth. She's connected to the world around her. She loves the water.
Oh, cute.
She loves the water. She collects rocks. She's like all engaged with the planet because that is who she is. And so my position, knowing what I know about the vision, is I don't discover her. This is her, she can hear me. So, okay, I will.
Her vision just didn't change, did it? It stayed the same, right?
Her vision has stayed the same. And so, you know, there are those of us who get to have that vision and get to be that way in our lives and get to show up in that way. And then there are those of us who actively engage in the visioning process to really sort of determine. And we're seekers, right? We're the ones that are seekers. We're sort of, because we didn't come in like locked and loaded on the thing that we're going to do, and we start practicing and we want to swim and we want to do all this stuff so that we can be in the water with the whales and the, I don't know where she got it from. But you know what I mean? Like that. Some of us come in like that, locked and loaded with the thing, and then the rest of us were seekers. So we have to actively engage in seeking a vision. We have to actively engage the thing that we were called to do. So we do things. Some of us are like big-time seekers, you know, and we get multiple degrees and go to all kinds of schools and try all kinds of jobs. And then some of us know, I love cars. This is what I love to do. This is my vision. This is my goal. This is what I'm doing. And so we come into life and we do those kinds of things. Some of us like music and we just do that thing, but the rest of us are like seeking. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Why am I here? And we continue to ask the question. Now there's a way to ask the question. You can ask the question without actually really wanting the answer. So you walk around in like the state of perpetual inquiry. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And you never stop to listen for the answer. You never stop to engage in the response of, oh, what is my purpose, right? Because in prayer, prayer is asking, and in meditation, we receive. So we ask in prayer, what is my purpose? What is my vision? What is God's biggest idea for my life? What is God's purpose for me being here? And then we sit with that. We can do it about a simple thing as, what is God's purpose for my day today? Or we can do it with a thing about, what is God's purpose for my overall life? And we unfold the vision when we sit in the stillness and allow it to come up. Now, if you're like me, when it starts to bubble up and it says, oh, you're here to teach, you start questioning, what? Teach? Why? I didn't go to school to teach. I went to school to do other things. You know, oh, what does that look like? And so then I had to learn to accept the answer, right? That's part of the whole vision process, is to accept the answer and then allow it to unfold. So then I just become willing and I say, okay, yes. Yes, I'm willing to teach. What does that look like? And I sit with that, and I'm sitting with it, and I'm actively engaged in the query about what does teaching look like for me? And then all of a sudden, because I'm starting to say yes, the universe says, there you go. Because the universe, God, is always responding to us. And in the reading today, it talked about being specific or being clear. It's funny, I almost laughed out loud when Reverend Alex was reading that, because one of my friends on Facebook posted something this morning about, if you want a husband and you pray for a husband to stay home, don't be mad if he's unemployed. And I thought that was hilarious, right? Don't be mad if you pray for a man that is always at home and he stays unemployed. So I'm cracking up at this post, and I'm thinking about it, and then there's additional conversation, and the post is going down, like that commercial where the guy makes the genie wish, and he says, I want lots of bucks, I want $1,000 and then you look up, and they're actually deer, all bucks in his living room, because he wasn't specific, he wasn't clear, you know, to the universe. So when you start being clear in your prayer, and you start being clear, what you start to receive is a very clear response. Because the universe is going to meet you where you are. So if you're not clear, you're going to get back unclear. And you're going to go, what? What is this? It's like in a marriage, you know. I wanted to be married. I wanted to be married and have children. I didn't spend the time defining the kind of partner that I wanted. And as a consequence, there was no compatibility. And so there is no more marriage. There are children, and I'm grateful because I was really clear about the children. I wanted children that I could be their guide and I could grow and learn with them. And so I get that with these little people that I have. And I wasn't specific in the marriage thing, so it's gone. I want a job. I want a job to pay my bills. I've always had a job to pay my bills. I've always had a way to pay my bills, but I was never really specific. So now that I got into the vision, right, and I get into the vision and the prayer portion of my vision, and I want to activate it in my life, because the vision says speak. It says, oh, you're going to teach, and then it starts to say, oh, you're going to speak, and then I start to have like these flash moments where I'm standing in front of people. And I remember the first time I stood in front of a really large crowd in San Diego, and it was like 5,000 people in the room, and I was like, hold on. What am I going to say? And I called my friend Jeff, and he said, just open your mouth and allow it to come out, and get out of your own way. Because they had given me a topic. And I was like, oh, so it's not like a design topic or a topic that I get to research. I got a topic out of a hat. You know, and there were 5,000 people in the room, and I was like, oh, this is the vision. Then I started stepping into it because I had said yes, and I started saying, okay, I'm willing to teach. And teaching became about speaking. It became about sitting in rooms with people and teaching classes like the foundations class that I'm so excited we're going to start doing, and walking with others as they explore their thing, as they explore their own vision, their own way of being in the planet. And I learned how to do that because I became willing. First I said yes. Yes, I want to have a much more fulfilled, expanded, amazing life. Yes, I want to, when I get to the end, have been like, oh, whoa, I skipped the pasture. I just want to live so fully and full on in every aspect of my being. And that doesn't mean I'm jumping out of airplanes. It doesn't mean, you know, I'm peekaboo and I'm going down the mountainside. It doesn't mean any of those things. It simply means that I'm living my life fully, in a fully expanded version of who I am. And not living in this caged sense of being where I go to work, I pay my bills, I come home. I go to work, I pay my bills, I come home. And I'm not fully engaged in life around me. What is that about? And so I say yes, and how do I, and the yes is what activates it. The yes starts it. And then let me tell you what happens when you say yes. You can't take it back. You can try to contain it and say, no, I didn't really mean that. But once you say yes, it's on. It's on. So there are two ways that you're going to be. You're going to either be fully into the life that you're going to live that you've said yes to, or you're going to be in this place in your life where you're trying to dodge all of what the universe is giving you. And some days, when I sit down and I look at what I've done in a whole day, I just go, whoa. Because I said yes, and when I say yes, time expands. So I get way more done than the average person. Time expands, distance shortens, and I get everything on my day's accomplishments list accomplished. And it's like, whoo! Who does that? I've been in 2 counties, I got the kids out the door, I've done this, I've done that, and oh, now it's time for me to go teach this class. You know? And it's because I said yes to being willing to be present for what it is that life would have me do. So things will show up for you, and you get to do great things like stand in front of 5,000 people. You get to do amazing things like write a song and stand up and just sing it, just boom, like that. You get to be amazing in your special way. And when you do that, everyone around you has permission to be amazing. That's what's really important. When I say yes, I give you permission to say yes. And then we're all standing in this great yes. And guess what's happening? We're rocking. We're rocking. It's like Reverend Alex. She was at one of those study groups. This center was birthed out of a study group. And she said, yes. Okay, sure, we can meet in a room in an office building and pray once and learn and study together once a week. And now it's become, yes, this yes has become the only center in the nation's capital, that's the Centers for Spiritual Living, that is teaching this philosophy. And it started with maybe 4 people, and here we are. And some days we have 20, and some days we have 30, and some days, like last week, we had like 11 kids out there. And it's just amazing how when you say yes, your thing happens. And let me tell you what Reverend Alex's yes is doing. It's shifting the nation's capital. Because we're all going out. There are several of us that work in Congress, and there's several of us that work at the White House, and we're carrying this philosophy and this energy there because she said yes, and we in turn said yes. Because when you say yes, life gives you what it is that you need. And if you know, we say in this philosophy that the universe will rise up to meet you right where you are. Now, if you choose to stay planted on the ground right where you're at and not ever do anything great and spectacular, the universe is going to meet you right there. And it's going to say, okay, yeah, I see you. You want to live in lack and limitation. You want to live in less than. You want to live in, I don't have that much. You want to live in struggle. You want to live in, because you're mentally there and you're not living in the yes of your vision. You want to live there, the universe is going to meet you there. But when you say, I want to prosper, I want to live full on and full out with all of who I am, I want to engage in my life so fully that at the end of the day, it's like, whoo, made it, home base, every day. I want to live like that. I want to live full out. I want to engage and explore and see the world, and I want to be involved with everyone that I meet. I want to have a great encounter today. I want to live my life with such fierceness and such coolness and such fun and vim and vigor. When you say that about your life, when you say, I want to stand in my purpose, I want to come here and do what I was born to do, I don't want to get to the end and look back and go, I wish I had. I want to live my life fully. I want to live my life with so much joy and so much love and so much peace and so much prosperity and so much hope. I want to be the light that lighted up every man and woman on the planet. I want to be that. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be everything that I was created to be. The universe meets you right there. And all of a sudden, you're walking into the room and people are saying things to you like, wow, you walked in the room and I felt your energy. Because they feel it anyway. They just don't want to tell you when it didn't feel good. Because you come in the room like, everybody feels that. Everybody feels that. When you come in the room like, good morning, everybody feels that. You come in the room and you smile, you say, hey, how are you? Everybody feels that too. They're only telling you when it feels good. So you want to be the person that brings that, you know, that energy of your whole self, your whole way of being in the world. You want to stand in that, and so I want to say these three things before I close out today. I want to say that if you are here, there's something that called you to be here. Whether you were asked to videotape, or you were asked to take pictures, or you were asked to sing, or you were just asked to come sit with us. Whatever it is, you were asked to come because it's your last day. Come, baby, come be with Mommy. We're here, it's warmer, let's go for a walk and go check out that center. Whatever it is that brought you here has purpose and value. So if something in a philosophy and a teaching is inside you right now that's calling you, I want to invite you to try it. Really try it. Because here's the deal. If you try it and you give it 90 days, of just trying it. Just give it 90 days of trying it. Give it 90 days of, I'm going to try this meditation thing. I'm going to sit for 2 minutes. That's what I do with my kids. We do 2 minutes. You know, I'm going to sit for 2 minutes and try this meditation thing. I'm going to get up every morning and actively pray. I'm going to get up every morning and say yes, 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 yes to living this wonderful life that I have been blessed to live. I'm going to say yes to that. So I'm going to say try it. And then as you say yes every day, you're practicing. Practice seeing good. Practice seeing light. Practice defining what you see. The quick story that happened with my daughter in Whole Foods yesterday. This woman is in line before us, and she's saying, I mean, you know, everybody and their mother was in Whole Foods, by the way. So the lines are all the way down the aisle and everything, and this woman is like, oh, she's in this conversation with Madison, and they're talking, and the woman is like, oh yeah, it's just a bad day to be in here. And Madison was like, no, it's not. Every day is a good day. And she looks at this woman, and I step back. And I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, and I'm like, okay, let me just hold the space. And she says to the woman, every day is a good day. It's just how you look at it. So practice looking at your life as a good life. Practice looking at your day as a good day. Practice just 90 days. Just give it 90 days. What the heck? You can get your misery back. You can get your own life back at the end of 90 days. But practice, and then pay attention to how it works. Like for me, I practiced tithing, and then I paid attention to how my income increased because I was giving 10% of my money to my spiritual community, to places where I get love, to people on the side of the road, and I watched my money increase. Even when in my head I was like, oh my God, I can't give this $1, I was giving $1 anyway. And I practiced and I watched that increase. I practiced saying yes, I practiced meditation, and I feel centered when I go through my day. So I'm going to invite you to give it a 90-day commitment. Say, I'm going to try. I'm going to try it. I'm going to practice it. And then I'm going to take notes. I'm going to watch it work. I'm going to watch how the energy shifts around me because I come into the room pleasant. I'm going to watch how my viewpoint shifts everything around. Give it a try. Give it some practice. 90 days. And see, this is how you activate the vision. And then it's happening around you. You can't take it back. Thank you so much.